Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Daily Standup. My name is Lee Henson, president and founder of Agile, and without further ado, let's get started. One of the topics that seems to be a hot spot in today's Agile community, especially within the training community and the coaching community, is the difference between, traditional project management and Agile project management with respect to people transitioning and organizations transitioning. And one of the things that I've discovered is that now we have a new enemy, and a lot of the trainers are starting to point this out. It's not necessarily a matter of trying to take traditional project management frameworks and trying to squeeze those into Agile and claiming to be Agile. The problem that we're seeing more often now is just a poor implementation of Scrum or a poor implementation of Agile that people are trying to modify so much to fit the way that they do business. Now, to be perfectly honest, I am not someone who is completely dogmatic and says there's only one way to get things done. I'm not that person. I'm not the person who's going to sit here and insist that it's one way or no way. I feel like there's lots of different opportunities as far as what we can do and how we can engage. But I think that we need to be, how should I put it? We need to use a pragmatic approach and do the things that make sense. I think far too often we find ourselves doing things just for the sake of doing them, not making any headway because what we're doing just simply isn't the right thing or it doesn't make sense, but we find ourselves doing it anyway. And when I approach these teams and ask them, what was the impetus behind them making some of the choices that they've made, one of the things that I'm quickly discovering is that no one has ever guided them to believe what true Agile or to understand what true Agile or true agility is. They are stuck with the fact that moving faster at whatever cause is agility, and that really bothers me. I think that organizations need to step up and identify or point out that moving fast doesn't necessarily mean you're agile. It's being good with your motions. If you think of a person who studies kung fu or kung fu mastery, their goal is not to expend as much energy as they can to thwart off an opponent. Their goal or mission is to conserve that energy and to use their moves wisely to make sure they pinpoint with great accuracy the things that they need to do in order to successfully thwart off an offender. Agile should very much be the same way. We shouldn't be focusing all of our attention on, doing as many things as possible to try to please whoever is at the top, but we should be focusing more on being lean and limiting our work in progress and making each move count. I remember working in an organization once where we were doing some coaching and, the teams were always worn out. It was like they were beat to death. It was almost as if they were given a treadmill to work out on every single day. But instead of it being a physical treadmill, it was a mental treadmill. And you could tell these developers were downtrodden, the teams were downtrodden, the Scrum Masters definitely were downtrodden, and the product owners just simply couldn't understand why the work wasn't being done. I think sometimes it's a matter of, pinpointing people and saying, what number do you have your spiritual treadmill set on, right? Is your emotional treadmill running at such a pace that there's no way you'll ever be able to emotionally keep up? Oftentimes this leads to bringing baggage home with you and leads to other, negative aspects within your personal life as well. So I think it's important for us to isolate that baggage and to eliminate or to lower the speed on our, emotional and spiritual treadmill so that we can keep up with the pace, so that we can be consistent, and so that we're not constantly being overburdened with work that may or may not be necessary. I find that business agility has changed over the years, where initially when we went into organizations and taught them about business agility, we taught them more to focus on, but slowing down on a heavyweight planning up front and using business agility in order to pivot. One of the things we're discovering today is that organizations are fine there. They're ready to pivot. It's just immediately when they pivot, now they want to scale because now that they've pivoted, they want to make sure that they can get as many things in the pipeline or as many things as they can into the in progress column. They want to get as many things moving as they can so that they can see forward progress within their organization, not realizing that in the long run this is going to cost them. It's the same as taking even a professional athlete and saying, now that you've gotten close to the world record, let's continue to turn up the speed as fast as we can to see if we can get you there just a few seconds sooner, or to see if we can get you in more races so you'll have more practice, when in actuality the only thing that long distance runner needs is some downtime, some rest. I find that more organizations are starting to move away from those down periods and trying to get people to move faster than they possibly can. How do we solve this problem? That's the big question. I think that when we go in and do coaching, one of the things we talk about is sustainability. And I think sustainability directly ties to, bad agile performance. One of the things that we see as organizations will constantly try to not run at a sustainable pace, and they'll constantly try to put more and more work into the pipeline. And instead of rewarding the people who are doing the best, they'll pile more work on or give those people more things to do. I think the key here is that we need to find ways to successfully reward teams that are doing good work, find ways to teach businesses more about the importance of limiting work in progress, whether it's at the project level or the product level. And I think most of all, it's important for us to recognize the human factor in everything we do, and to take each decision with more of a pragmatic approach instead of a dogmatic approach, and to learn how to humanize work and do what makes sense. One of my dear friends in the Agile community, Bob Hartman, president of Agile for All, one of the things that he talks about quite a bit is humanizing work, and how can we make this, the best experience or the best opportunity that we can within the organization. And sometimes that means making these fine-tuning adjustments and helping people understand that moving fast isn't always moving best, that moving lean and moving efficiently is usually the better option. I hope that you enjoyed today's session of Daily Stand-Up, and as always, we invite you to visit agiledad.com, where you can learn more about this topic and many others. We have lots of information and lots of white papers and lots of good stuff. I also want to remind you of our brand new podcast. If you go to the Apple Podcast and you type in the Daily Stand-Up, the one you're listening to now, you'll be able to see many, many episodes that span multiple different topics. We've also just added the 3 free webinars that we did recently to our YouTube channel, so you can visit AgileDad on YouTube and see those there, or you can visit the agiledad.com website and see those there. We've got lots of exciting information and lots of wonderful things coming up, and we hope to see you soon in one of our AgileDad engagements, whether it be a class, a certification, a workshop, a coaching engagement, or even a leadership seminar. We're excited to say that we have a couple of private leadership seminars coming up. If you're interested in learning more about these or anything else, please feel free to tune in or to email us, and we'll be happy to give you as much information as you need. As always, stay well, stay agile, and take care, my friends. Until next time.